Yes, boys and girls, you're welcome for this lesson. This is Science and Technology for Grade 4. We are talking about scientific techniques and processes. Scientific techniques and processes, where we have started talking about the sensory organs. Now, last time we said our environment consists of several things, and this means that there is a lot that is going on in our environment. So we need to understand whatever is taking place in our environment, and for us to understand our environment, there are 5 parts of the body who help us well to understand our environment. Now, these 5 parts of the body are known as the sensory organs. They are known as the sensory organs. Now, we talked about the first 2 sensory organs last time, that is the eye and the skin, and their limitations. So we said that, or we learned that, 1, the eye is a sensory organ for sight. It is helping us to see whatever is taking place in our environment, right? But the eye can be used for estimation also. It can be used to estimate the length of an object or the length of a particular field or something like that. Now, when we use the eye to estimate the length of an object, it will not give us the correct answer or the correct measurement, right? And for us to get the correct measurement, we use a tape measure or a ruler, right? So, the limitations of the sensory organs, which is the eye, is that the eye can give an exact image of something and we can see it well. But when we use the eye to estimate the length of an object or the length of a field, then our eyes will not give us the correct answer. So the limitation of the eye is that the eye cannot give the actual length of measurement. The eye cannot give the actual length of measurement. So that is 1. 2, the eyes cannot see very tiny objects. The tiny objects can only be seen by the use of a microscope. Next, we talk of the skin. We learned of the skin, right? The skin is a sense organ for touch, right? It helps us to understand our environment. It helps us in feeling the temperature in the environment when something touches you, and then you are able to detect that, right? But what is the limitation for the skin? The skin is used for feeling, though it cannot tell the exact temperature of an object that has been in contact with it, or it cannot give you the exact temperature of the hot weather or the cold weather in your surrounding. So that is a limitation of the skin. Now today we are talking about the limitation of the tongue, the limitation of the nose, the limitation of the ears. The tongue. The tongue is a sense organ for taste. Now it is used to taste sweet, bitter, and also very nasty, right? Tastes. So, what are the limitations of the tongue? The tongue can sometimes give inaccurate result. Now, for example, if you eat pineapple or if you chew sugarcane, then you drink water, the water tastes bitter. Now, in real sense, we know that the drinking water is clean, fresh, tasteless, and very safe. But here is the case that your tongue, which is a sensory organ for tasting, gives you a wrong taste of the water. That is a limitation of the tongue. The limitation of the nose. The nose is a sensory organ for smelling, right? You can smell something sweet, you can smell something bad, right? Sweet smell, bad smell, right? Now, the nose may not give the correct smell in case of infections like flu. If you have flu, right, your nose will not give you the correct smell of what is happening in your environment, right? So in this case, the smell of pilau that you always like, right, you say always that it is good, right? But now because you have infection, now you can say that that is a bad smell. So what you say that is a good smell, to someone it might be a bad smell. So the nose cannot give us the correct smell in case of infections. Now, limitation of the ears. Limitation of the ears, right? The ears may not hear low sounds. So if you talk loudly, if there's a loud sound, what happens in the environment is that you will hear it. You will hear that sound, whether it's a loud sound, sweet sound, right? Smooth sound, you will hear it. But if the sound is coming from a little bit far, the ears may not hear low sounds clearly. So the ears may not detect sounds when they are far away. Now, boys and girls, these are the limitations of the 5 sensory organs that we have. These are the limitations of the 5 sensory organs that we have. Boys and girls, that marks the end of our lesson for today. Till we meet again, you're welcome.